All right, what's going on, good people? This is Terrence from Southern Gentleman's Table TV. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe to the page. Today, we are doing Louisiana Gumbo. I'm excited about that. So I'm gonna just kind of show you kind of an overview. This is what I've done here, what you call mise en place in the kitchen. That's everything in its place. So I've already prepped a lot of this stuff. So you can tell it's gonna be shrimp. I got some rotisserie chicken that I've cut up. I got some crab legs. I got some sausage, some andouille sausage, actually a beef sausage. And then I'll put some actual lump crab in there as well. Here we got the Holy Trinity. That's celery, onions, and bell pepper already chopped up. I got my filet that goes toward the end to kind of help thicken. This is just ground sassafras leaves. I got some bay leaf. I got some Cajun seasoning, some salt, got some pepper, chicken broth. We're all good to go. But now the first thing that we want to do on the gumbo is make the roux, R-O-U-X. A roux is basically just a fat and a flour mixed together. All right, so now I'm gonna pour that in here. We're gonna let that start. It's oil, so we're gonna start letting that get hot, and then we're gonna incorporate the flour. Now, a roux is always the foundation of a lot of dishes. If you go back and look at some of my videos when we did like the first mac and cheese, we were talking about a roux. Now, the color of the roux is depends. So the roux, the color that we're looking for here is a dark brown, like a chocolate covered roux. All right, so we'll come back and we'll start. All right, so we're gonna go in here and we're gonna start incorporating this flour into that oil. Number one, we wanna get that stirred up good. I got this turned down kind of low because the thing is, I gotta keep this moving because I gotta get this to the color, like I said, dark chocolate. See, right now it's a tan roux. If we were doing like a queso or something like this would probably be the time if we were going in and do something like this to add the milk for a queso. But again, we're trying to get to a dark chocolate brown roux. The key about a gumbo though is with the roux, you gotta make sure that this is right, because if this isn't right, then the entire pot of gumbo won't be right. If it gets burned, the whole pot's gonna taste burned. So this is really the key. So we're gonna keep stirring this for a while. We'll come back and I'll show you what that dark roux is. Minutes in, and so now if you can kind of look at it, you kind of see it starting to get to that color. Now we've gone from tan, we passed the peanut butter stage, we kind of milk chocolate stage. We got to get to that dark brown roux though. Once we're there, then that's where we need to be. But I'm constantly moving this because again, I don't want it to burn, because if it burns, then the whole pot's messed up. I got my Holy Trinity. That's my celery, my onions, my bell pepper. That's called the Holy Trinity. That's really the key in most dishes, Creole, Cajun dishes, okay? So now I'm gonna add that. Stir that up. This is the foundation of your gumbo. At this point now, this is just building on top of this. And from here, we can start adding all. Now, I started over here in this pot. I got a bigger pot back here on the stove because I'm making quite a bit, but I like this cast iron bottom to make my roux. And so I started it here, so I'm gonna transfer this over, and then we're gonna go over there and we're gonna finish it. All right, so now I transferred, coming over here to the bigger pot here. So now what I'm gonna do is, and you can actually do this step first if you want before you made your roux, but right now what I'm gonna do is I wanna brown my sausage now in this pot. So I'm gonna throw these over in here. Once I get these nice and brown, then I'm gonna add that roux that we prepared. And then from there, we'll start layering this bad boy. We'll start adding our broth and our stock. You can do chicken stock, you can do seafood stock if you're doing a seafood gumbo. We got a little bit of everything. So I'm gonna brown these bad boys here. And like I said, once these get nice and golden brown, we're gonna add this roux. And then we're gonna start building this thing together, okay? All right, so now you take a look there, look at those, the andouille is getting nice, get a nice little brown on it, creating a little juice, a little grease in there. So now, what I'm gonna do here, I'm going to incorporate my roux in here that we just prepared. Gotta get all of that. Like I say, that's your foundation. We'll stir all that up. All right, getting that incorporated. And now I'm going to start adding our water, our stock. Start adding that. Our chopped up rotisserie chicken. I got our trusty bay leaves. I got about 3 bay leaves there. I'm gonna add the chicken. Now I'm not gonna add the shrimp and the crab yet. I'm gonna wait on those. I'm gonna add those after a while. I'm gonna let these flavors come together. Now something that if you notice, I hadn't added any seasonings yet. And I hadn't added any spices because see the chicken stock has some salt content in it. The sausage does too. But we'll get there. This is like we're kind of slowly building this thing. And so now I want this mixture to start coming to a simmer. From here, we'll start tasting it. We'll start see where we are. Now we can start adding our Cajun spices. We got our bay leaf in there. We can add some black pepper. We can add some salt. You can add some garlic powder if you like. Even some fresh garlic too would actually be really good too. So now we're gonna let this simmer and then we'll come back and let's see if we can continue to build this thing. All right, so listen. So now our gumbo is simmering nice. We've added the chicken. We've added the sausage, of course. So now we have some lump crab meat that we want to add. I got some crab legs that I want to add. We're just going to enhance the flavors here. Oh yeah. And then we're going to add the lump crab meat as well. Oh yeah. That's going to be really good. So now the one thing that we don't have in here, a couple things. Number one, we don't have the shrimp in. Shrimp, if you are cooking a soup or a gumbo like this, it's gonna take a while for those flavors to come together. You don't wanna add shrimp right now because they turn rubbery. They're not gonna be really good. So we'll add the shrimp the last 5 or 10 minutes and that's perfect. The other thing we hadn't added yet, we hadn't really added any spices. I tasted it a little bit earlier because of the chicken stock. It has a little bit of seasoning. It's not bad, but it's not where it needs to be. So we got our Cajun spice. We have some salt, some kosher salt. We have some black pepper. We'll start layering that. And then last but not least, your filet. Gumbo filet. Filet is just ground sassafras leaves. It's gonna help thicken up the gumbo toward the end. That'll be something that we'll do toward the end. So right now we're gonna let this continue to come together and like I said, then we'll start seasoning it and as we go. All right. All right, so now listen, everything has been cooking down really good. I taste the broth on here, man, it's nice, it's flavorful. I've added my Cajun spice, I've added the filet, I've added some salt, some pepper. It's nice, but now for me, when you look at the consistency of it, To me, it's a little runny. I like it a little thicker. So what I do is I do a slurry. So a slurry is 1 part water, 1 part cornstarch. And so what I'm gonna do is I've mixed it all up in here. That's what it looks like milk, but that's 1-to-1 ratio. So I'm gonna slowly start pouring that in. And what's gonna happen is, as I'm pouring it, and you pour it while it's simmering, I'm gonna start seeing this mixture start to thicken up. And then it's gonna really start getting, yeah, look at that. How it's coating that. That's what I'm talking about. So now in my opinion, now it has a consistency, what they call nappe, where it coats the back of a spoon. You see what I'm saying? It's nice, it's thick. That's good right there. Now, the last thing I want to do while my fire is going, I want to go ahead and add the shrimp in. So I got my shrimp, and we're gonna drop these bad boys in. That's the last thing. All right, so then we're gonna plate it when we come back, all right? All right, so now we're getting ready to plate it. I got my rice right here. We're gonna get in here. Look at that, we're gonna pour that over. Let's see here. I'm gonna try to get me, man, there's so much in here. I'm just gonna get me just one of them crab legs out of there and pour that over right there. Look at that, that's nice. Let's try that, let's see here. Just gonna give me a nice little spoonful of that. Let's see. That was good.